Hello, it's Deborah from the Attic. If you're new here, you're very welcome. Please subscribe. Please press the notification bell so that you get told by YouTube every time I upload a fresh video. And if you're a returning visitor, welcome back. Today I want to show you a new kit that's going to be available in my Etsy store. I'll provide the link in the description box below this video. This is based on a summer theme, and I'm going to flip you through each page. And as we do that, you've got to imagine a cool summer breeze, the sound of bees buzzing around the flowers, and maybe some birds twittering in the background. And you've just got to imagine that it's warm and it's calm and it's lovely. That was what was in my head when I was putting these papers together. So there are 19 pages altogether, and there are 7 backgrounds that are 10 by 7. And then there is this larger background. And the purpose of this is to make sure that you can print double-sided using any of the other sheets that I'll show you as we flip through, so you won't have a bare white reverse. Sometimes you want to use the reverse of a page, or sometimes if you're creating a folder, you want some colour inside, not just a white page. That's what this one is for. I'll show you an example of how I've used it once I've flipped through all of the pages for you. There are 4 tags. These have got holes already cut out, and they've got some little tick boxes in place as well for you. There's a large envelope, and all of the elements will fit inside this large envelope. And then there's a pocket, and this pocket is actually designed to use sideways, although I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. And then there is a money pocket. This one has got a slightly longer front folding tab, and then there are these 3 boxes, these 3 index cards, which will fit inside the pocket. And this again is a money pocket, but it has a shallower front fold. There are 6 little round circles, which I use in place of wax seals. It's another way of sealing something down or sealing down your envelopes. And then there are these little panels that have got almost like little rivets in them. And the idea is that you can write on there whatever is related to your project. Then there are 3 rather unusual pages. These are calendar pages. Now what I've done with these is I've put each month of the year into its own card, and then down the side I've added the up to 31 for the days in the month. Now obviously this isn't supposed to be a perpetual calendar, but it might be a way of you capturing a special event in each month. So maybe a birthday, maybe you just circle that and write whoever's birthday it is. The other thing that you might want to do is add initials for the days of the week. So depending on what day the 1st of January is, say it's a Wednesday, you might just want to write a W beside it and then a T for Thursday, and so on all the way down that line if you actually wanted to use them to diarise events. So this page has all of those months that have 31 days in them. This one has all of the months with 30 days on them, which is why they only go up to 30 days. This then has got 31 days plus February, which goes up to 29 just in case you're on a leap year. Usually February only has 28 days. Then there are 2 sheets with 4 index cards each on the sheets. And they also have happy thoughts, and this relates to a video I made about happy journaling, and I'll provide a link to that video up there. This one has got a couple of blanks as well as the 2 index cards, and these are also positioned on the page so they're slightly closer together, so that if you wanted to print these and cut out 2 together, you would use this white centre between them as your fold line, and then you would fold this and have a little booklet with a really nice image on the outer covers. There are 6 index cards which use some of the flowers and the images, the colours from the rest of the kit, so everything coordinates beautifully together. You never have to worry about coordinating colours with any of my kits. It's all done for you. And these have been deliberately placed close together so you can make a concertina book if you want. So you would cut these out, then cut these out, glue 2 end pieces together, and then you can just fold them and then just open them like a concertina. Or you can use them as individual elements and they will fit inside the money pockets that I showed you earlier. Finally, this is a folder, and I'll need to show you how this works because it has images here and here which are mirror images of the text. So the idea is that where this fold line is and a fold line in the middle, you'd fold this panel up on the inside, and then you still have the words the right way up, and on the outside you have the words the right way up as well. I'll show you what I mean, and I'll show you how to use it. I talked about the background sheet and how that could be used as a background for printing onto another element, and here's an example. So I've printed out my folder sheet. I've got this on the reverse, and it means that when I cut this out and I fold it and I make it up, on the inside it won't be white. It will have some rather nice soft colours. So I've cut down a sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. I've cut it in half so that it is in two pieces 12 by 6 inches, and I'm going to use the folds I've made in it. I folded it almost in thirds, not exactly in thirds, because it's a good idea to make sure you've got a little bit of extra space on either side, because it means that when you close your book it will sit flat. And I'm going to stitch the centre panels down the side, along the bottom and up the side, so that in the top I'll leave that open and I'll have a little space for a pocket. So I've done my sewing, and as you can see I've got a nice little secret pocket tuck space there. The book is going to fold slightly differently to my Journaling Happy book, because I'm going to fold the front like this, and on the reverse I'm going to fold it like that. So in effect it has two fronts. And I'm now going to cut down papers from the background sheets so that they will fit onto each panel. I'm going to glue those into position on both sides and also on the inside. I'm going to use Beacon 3-in-1 glue to glue these into position, because I find it's the best glue for gluing down paper. Sometimes if you have a glue like a PVA glue, it can just be too wet and it makes the paper wrinkle, or you get bumps that you then can't squash away. But with this glue I never have that problem, and it's what I use for all of my journals. I just think it's very, very versatile. And if you do get glue in a place where you don't want glue, because it has a weird thready, stringy effect to it, it's really easy to just sort of rub the glue away. This is what my little book looks like now that all of the panels have been covered. And it's quite fun putting this together. It's also very quick. I've already cut out the elements and the different ephemera that I'm going to use to now add on to my book and glue into position. I've got a few things I want to show you. The first is the folder that I talked about, and this has been printed on the background page as well, and you can see how that works. I've used the fold line in the middle to fold it in half, like that, and then I'll use this fold line to fold up the sort of tuck spot bit of the folder. And you can see that the wording is the right way up on the outside as well as on the inside. But of course with this I haven't printed double-sided, and this is what it would look like if it was just plain white paper. So it depends on your needs and what you think is right for your project. The other thing I wanted to show you were those 6 little index cards. There's a number of different ways that you can use these. You could fold them like that so that you had a little index book that would open up in that way, or you can glue them back to back, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my 3-in-1 glue again, so they are glued back to back, and I can fold that in and have that as a little book, or I can cut off one end so that I've got a little index card that's printed on both sides, and then I could turn this into a little booklet by just folding it in half like that. So there are numerous ways that you can use these cards. The next thing I want to show you are the pockets that fold up and have a long front flap and a short front flap. These are very easy to fold into place. You just fold on the fold line, you don't have to work it out or think about it. You can just make them. You glue them down the side, glue on the shortest edge, like that, and fold it up. And then it's ready for you to use in your book. And you might want to use one of the little circular elements to seal the front of your book, and if you want to do that, you just add a tiny dab of glue on the front and pop the circle about halfway into position like that. And then if you were going to seal it completely, you'd glue it on the inside if you're going to give it to somebody, say. For this pocket, I'm going to use the round circle to create a little space in which I can tuck the flap. So instead of sticking this at the top, I'm going to stick it at the bottom, and I'm going to stick it about halfway down across the flap, maybe a little bit lower down. All you really want is that that has got enough depth to it to catch the top flap. And that's it, 2 ways that you can use the circles to help seal your pockets. With all of my elements cut out and prepared, I'm going to add these into my book, and then I'll show you the final result. Here's my finished folding booklet, and I've had a lovely, peaceful, calm afternoon putting this together. And I was pleased to find this beautiful silk ribbon in my stash, and all it needed was just something just to finish it, tie it into place, and hold everything secure. So the way that I've done this is I've put quite a lot of detail on sort of the front opening page and the back page of this, because I think that makes it interesting. It makes you want to open the book, it draws you in. I've also added a little bit of lacy detail here and there. The front page then is actually part of the book itself, and I've used the pocket, the folder that I showed you how to use, to glue onto the front of the panel, and then I've used it as a tuck spot for some of my tags and for some of the calendar pages as well. And these I've glued back to back. It makes them a little bit more sturdy. This has all just been printed out on a decent quality of photocopy paper, but nothing thick, nothing special. So if I open this out on one side, you can see what it looks like. I'm just going to move the ribbon to one side. I've used the folder again in the same way on this side, but I've added one of the index cards in this part of the tuck and another index card here. The envelope I've sealed using one of my circles. I've added a little bit of lace at the top, and that's got space in there to hold an index card. And then this page I've left blank. If I turn the book over, this is the opposite side, if that makes sense. And if I open this out, you can see this is where I've got my envelope again. I've used one of the circles to seal it, and I've popped in one of the index cards into the envelope. And this is where I've glued my back-to-back glued index cards. But I've glued this down the sides, the bottom and this side, so that it also forms a pocket which takes some of the tags and it holds some of the circles that I haven't used, but then closes to form a little book as well. And on this side, I've used the pocket. I was going to use this sideways, but then I decided that actually I wanted it to sit in this sort of style on my page. And that's easy enough, you just fold it in a little bit further. So you can actually make it whatever size suits your project. And I've used that as a tuck space for some pockets and some tags, and then some of the plaques with the little rivets in the end that I didn't use. And then my book folds back together. This is the reverse page. And this is the front page. And I can seal it again with my piece of silk ribbon. I hope that's given you some inspiration and some ideas for how you can use this kit, or using any of your own papers, another way that you could use them to make a nice little folding book. And of course you could use these kit pages to create a standard journal. I'm going to say thank you very much for your time. As always, thank you for watching, and until we meet again, stay safe and take care.